We got the most venues for press conferences here.
Right. Oh yeah,
really
like 10 different ones.
Construction.
Porter, to get started out 1-0 in conference play before you head out on the road, just how big is that? And maybe what did you take away from watching the film from Saturday?
You know, it was really physical. We knew it. I thought, you know, it's going to be like this every night. It's going to come down to that last 4 minutes. I thought we showed some resolve in the last 4 minutes. I think being down 1 going into that last 4 minutes, and you know, getting some good offensive possessions, good defensive possessions. And, you know, every game is going to be, I mean, these guys felt it. They were sore the next day. I mean, it was an absolute physical battle. And you expect nothing less. I mean, I'm heading into TCU. I mean, they're the exact same thing. They're like right top 5, forcing turnovers, crashing the glass, pace of play, oldest team in the country. So our first takeaway is what we expected. It was going to be an absolute physical game.
Is there confidence they can be built in those late stages and finding ways to win? Stuff that, I know you guys have a completely different roster this year, but you just didn't do the last couple of years.
Absolutely. I mean, you build confidence. I mean, the guys, you know, we kept on saying even the game we were down big in North Carolina is that you only have to be up at the end when they get down. We didn't say that this last game because it was just so back and forth. But like for our guys, they got some resolve, and when you win with those kind of situations, it only does build confidence. But our guys are confident, and the thing that I liked is at the 36-minute mark into the game, they were defending really hard, and we had some guys we really executed in the last 4 minutes.
Is it a little bit of a sign of maturity for Ortega to kind of battle through and still be a guy that you drew up a play for out of that 5 timeout?
Absolutely. And they've got confidence in him to do that for Ortega. He's earned that, and he's a key guy for us. And the thing that I wanted him that he showed good maturity was he got 2 fouls. And I said to him, I said, I'm playing you. You know, sometimes you sit a guy the rest of the half, but it was like 10, 12 minutes up in the half, and I go, I'm playing you, so you got to be smart. So I was playing him a minute here, a minute there, just to keep him in the flow. And then the second half, you know, he did some good things. It wasn't about him, you know, thinking just about that. He was making some team plays, got to the foul line. It's what he does.
I know you probably don't want to get out of the moment, but you know, some of these road games, you know, these road games you guys have got coming up, it's probably the last time Oklahoma will ever play at some of these places. Do you think about that at all, or?
I really haven't. I really haven't thought about the nostalgia of anything other than we got to go to TCU. They're really good. What we have to do to beat them is their transition. They just like Iowa State. They turn you over at such a high clip, and then they capitalize on it. Their pace of play, how they crash the glass, older physical bodies. So that's really all of our thought process has been on that.
So right down the
matchup against them.
Yeah, the matchup. I mean, obviously, you know, Miller. I mean, they're just an old physical team. You know, with it's very similar to Iowa State's. You know, we got to take care of the ball, and we got to win the battle of the glass, and we also got to win the battle of the foul line. They draw fouls really well. When they get to that foul line a ton, they usually are winning. You know, Miller obviously. Tennyson, who hit, I don't know how many, 6 threes or something against Kansas. He was outrageous. Really can shoot. I mean, obviously we know Avery Anderson. We've played against him. Jet quick athlete. They just, you know, you can go down the list of guys that are doing really well for him. It's just a physicality. PV and Coles are 2 veterans that know their system. Physical, older guys. So it's going to be another physical game. Oldest team in the country. But it's similar to what we have to accomplish. Take care of the ball, transition D, and win the battle of that glass.
What changes when you go on the road, or what can you learn about a team that maybe you can't otherwise?
I mean, guys have heard me say this a lot. Being with Rick Majerus, he didn't make a big deal about the road. He didn't. It was about us, what we do the same way. You know, our process, our game preparation, everything is exactly the same. Our process is we will get over there. We'll get a lot of shots. Being like 8 o'clock game, we'll get a lot of shots in their arena. But we talk about communication on the road. That's one big thing we do talk about is our communication when it's loud against us, that we got to stay poised. We will talk about that. And that's the biggest thing is these venues are so extreme that you've got to communicate. And what do you do when a run's against you and their crowd's going against you? What's a good possession? Good possession isn't trying to take an 8-point shot. There's no 8-point shots. That's what happens sometimes when you get in these situations where you get down and one guy's like, I want to win, and I try to do it all myself, and then there's no 8-point shot. You need good possessions, good leadership, and communication, that everybody's on the same page. That is the one thing we will talk about on the road, is that.
Do you feel pretty good about how this team can handle that, especially with the point guards that you've got?
Yeah, I thought let's all just say what it is. It wasn't a neutral game in Charlotte. So it was extremely loud in Charlotte. And that wasn't why we lost. It wasn't why, anything. I thought our guys handled that crowd noise. I thought they handled that kind of an atmosphere. It was 17,000 Carolina Blue. So that wasn't what. It was our turnovers. And what we did learn from that is guys, you got to take care of that ball. You got to take care of the ball. We can't have 18 turnovers at TCU. And we had 7 live ball turnovers against Iowa State. We had 11 total, but 4 of them weren't live ball. They were moving screens. And we'll take that. That's very good to have that kind of turnovers.
How do you keep building on that to make that kind of the consistent feature throughout the season?
I think our guys are smart. They realize, we only had 7 live ball turnovers. That's going to, and we put ourselves in a position to win. They're about winning. And, hey, look what happened. We took care of the ball, and we have, our offensive efficiency, you look at point per possession. When you have more turnovers, just less possessions. It's simple math, And for our guys, they knew they needed to take care of the ball, and they did. And we got to do it again.
You had the fewest rebounds of the season against Kansas. Does that kind of underscore these next 2 games just how relentless you're going to have to be on the glass?
They had their fewest rebounds?
Yeah.
Because they were making a lot of shots. I know that. But I think their rebound percentage, the way they smash. If you watch tape, they do a great job of anticipating their teammate's shot. I think it's a real strength of theirs. So they don't rebound after the ball is released. They anticipate as that guy's shooting the ball, they're crashing. And that's just a faster checkout you have to have. But then if we can rebound, I think we can run. But they do a great job of anticipating their teammate's shot.
Lowe's had a good all-around game on Saturday, on the stat sheet. Just maybe what have you seen from his development this season, the way he's progressed, and how encouraging is that for him to start Big 12 play?
I've seen it in the last 3 weeks. He's just he's Lowe's now. The ball's got eyes. It's finding the right guys, and when that happens, then your shot feels better. And I just think he's really really coming into his own. Playing. It's amazing. Like, he's such a strength of seeing the ball and the ball getting to where it goes. And I just see his confidence growing and growing, and that's just a great sign for us.
We talked a lot about the block charge and how that changing for the season. Has that proven to be a big adjustment as the season has kept on going?
You're not seeing as many teams take charges. You're more teaching going vertical, just trying not to reach for the lights and not get that charge. So you're seeing that being taught more than get there early, take the charge. Now, we've taken some charges, but it's not as much as because, they're erring on its block. Whether it is or not, they know it's blocked. So we're teaching that get there and go vertical. You got to jump. You got to have your hands reaching for the lights, and you're seeing a lot of people teach that. And we got to do that against them because they come in and they drive it so hard. I don't know if you're going to get there in time for a charge with TCU, so you got to go vertical and not foul those shots. And if they make it tough too, they make it tough too. But that's what we're teaching, that discipline, verticality.
In your last 51 made shots, you had 38 assists.
I love that. That's a great stat.
How important is leading the ball and making that extra pass to your system?
It is our system, pace and space and making that. And you saw, if you rewatched the tape like we did with Iowa State, we had so many extra one more passes. We did it against Monmouth. And you were getting those high assist numbers. And, I love that stat. 38 assists in the last 51 baskets. That's really good basketball. That's what we're trying to do.
The mindset that you have of preparing for one team at a time.
I'm sorry?
The mindset you have, taking one is huge this week with Kansas, the Blue Blood on Saturday, but you don't care because TCU is so good.
Yeah, truly, it's just been about. I think TCU is they're a team that can make a huge run, in this. I mean, I'll say that a lot this year to the teams we play. I felt that way about Iowa State. When you have veterans, length, athletic ability, extremely well coached. I mean, they got it. They got a lot. They got it all. And there hasn't been one other word about anything but TCU as it should be. I mean, we're playing a team that's going to end up they're a top 25 team. They're an NCAA tournament team, and that's been our focus. Is that I do think we got to handle the pressure too. There last year we didn't handle the press. This year or here we handled the press. So we got to handle their length and their press as well.